Shall we take this red pen to the game? Shall we? Oh, yes, indeed. Do forgive me as we go through, as I'm not familiar with MDL or MLD, Modern Life Dating. I've seen his face before. I didn't know his name was Modern Life Dating. I'm not familiar with anything except the clip that I'm about to review. So if there's anything contextual that you think I absolutely need to be aware of or tend to, feel free to send that as we go along. Per usual, we will start with our tradition, which is to show love to those who show love to you. I acknowledge the very first person to support the work. Shout out to None of the Above 101. Shout out to Gensley. He writes tuition at work, so I doubt I will catch it live. Appreciate you. You're a real one. And Saints, we're going to go in as long as folks are appreciating it, and then we'll go ahead and call it. Nate writes, Pizza says, did you see the live between Sneeko and Zerka? Zerka was calling Sneeko a B word, an idiot, right to his face, and he did nothing. You're right about him. Oh, man, I call this stuff years in advance, man. Years in advance, I call this stuff. That's actually quite a nice thing when someone would disrespect you to your face. You're not dealing with keyboard warriors who are anonymous. But hey, we see who these people are. I think I'm the only person on the internet that's actually put in work. You did? Yes, indeed. But, it's okay. He's not surprising. A shout to Ishmael. He writes, Peace of the Saints. We'll have to catch the replay. Thank you. And by the way, Ishmael, I did get your emails. Keep them coming. We're going to get this done. I'm under a lot of time constraints currently, and there are a number of folks who have emails out to myself as well as support at marquettism.com. We are chopping it down. Carrying on.
The MLD.
Okay, first let me make sure we're all caught up. All right. Do confirm that the sound is good to go.
Last take.
I don't want a traumatized woman in my life. I don't want any history of trauma. I've dealt.
Okay. So number one, he says he doesn't want a traumatized woman in his life. That's actually very smart. None of us should. In fact, there are women who are not ones who have experienced significant trauma, yet they still behave as though they have experienced trauma. You got upper class and middle class women who are taking on the struggles of the oppressed and climate change. They want to find something wrong in the world to whine about. So surely a woman that actually has something to whine about is a problem. So he's wise there. Shout out to Marcus. He writes, Peace of Saints. Will you be doing a live of your favorite countries travel? I'll be traveling the world soon and would like your take. I like different things about different countries, and mostly I'm traveling for spiritual and business purposes. And so, yeah, I might consider doing a live, regarding, which countries are best to travel if you only speak English, which countries are best to travel if you need offshore accounts, which countries are best to travel if you're interested in, dealing with gorgeous women. Yeah, absolutely. I'd be willing to do something like that. Certainly. Shout out to Marcellus. He writes in the chat, and I have that right here. Peace of Saints recently just graduated from Duke. By the way, everyone commend him. Duke is a very prestigious university. That is a major accomplishment. He writes, in second time and incoming SWE at software engineer at Amazon in December, wishing prosperity for all. Ooh, that's very prestigious placement, not only because you're in a high, fast growth, highly innovative company, but because you're also in a position that is on the bleeding edge of what's next for all of society. Amazon is a great place to be. I'm very proud of you. Good work, very good work. And it's only up from there. You'll meet your colleagues, will be the guys that you start your own business with. I promise you. Carrying on.
With those kind of fucking nutbags, and I don't ever want to deal with it ever again. I want
to. Firstly, let's take an analysis of his posture and general body language. This is not strong body language by any measure. Generally speaking, you don't want to engage in, touching gestures, especially those are self-comforting gestures. It indicates that you might be uncomfortable or nervous, and his body, his trunk is not positioned straight up and down, so he's leaning over, which is not a strong position, especially given the fact that in many cases women will have superior posture, maybe have a longer torso, and so he's sitting next to a female, presumably, who appears to be taller than him, at least sitting down, in as much as she has either superior posture, a longer torso, or the fact that she's actually sitting up straight, whereas he's leaned over unnecessarily. He did the right thing, which is to come suited and booted and dressed for the occasion, dressed for success. He's wearing a suit, which is my favorite tool, especially when I'm about to, play some hardball. So that's a good start. Now, his suit game ain't like my suit game. Nobody's is, unless you're talking about De Niro in Casino, which was a fictional character. But he looks the part, but he's not comporting himself in a way that commands power. And anytime you show weakness, particularly when you're in the midst of your enemies or would-be enemies in a den of wolves, or like more likely hyenas in this case, oh, they're about to come for you. So he's off point. He's not in the zone right now. And sometimes you can look into someone's eyes and tell if they're in the zone. He ain't there. You dig?
Deal with a normal, mentally stable, healthy woman. So
you think you're normal?
Wow. Shorty done jumped in the conversation so quick, they ain't even have time to hit the video switcher to turn the camera to this broad. You think you're normal? That's called an insult right there. It's in the form of a question, but it's really a statement. What's her statement? Her statement is, you ain't SHIT. You ain't nothing, little buddy. That's her statement. But she formulated it as a question, which means you now have an opportunity to respond. And if you're clever, you can give her a nice little zinger back, shut her down. And the key with conflict in general is if they start off on 20, you start off on 2,000, and they generally will back down because most people don't really want any smoke. They're just blustering.
Exactly.
In what sense?
Well, do you think you have healthy?
Now listen to his response. It sounds like he said,
Woman. So
You think you're normal? Exactly.
In what sense?
So that was 2 times. In what sense? Now, on the surface of things, he or she who asked the questions is driving and controlling the conversation. So in as much as that is the case, then yes, I mean, he's doing a smart thing. But it's a bit foolish when she says, and you think you're normal, when he says, in what sense, my dear boy? Let's not make this more complex than it needs to be. And we know that she's insulting you, so you need not engage her in a dialogue. Rather, you say, am I normal? No, I'm above average, which would make me abnormal. But am I mentally healthy? Yes, I am. And then we could take it from there. You dig? When he gave a weak response, that's just going to get her inflamed. You heard me? Now she's ready to hop in. And here's the key to weaklings. Weaklings in Confederacy, they can contend with someone who's strong. And when weaklings sense weakness, oh, they pounce. Shout out to George, comes in by a cash app. Truly appreciate it. Shout out to the real one supporting the work. Carrying on.
Well, do you think you have healthy habits?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Weren't you the same one?
So she then forwards her line of attack. Do you think you have healthy habits? You see, he already should have addressed this by basically answering the question and putting a bookend on it. Now, but instead he asked her a silly question as though he wasn't being attacked. Not that he should have been defensive, but he should have taken the aggressive position, which is the offensive position, non-emotional, but pushing on her. She's coming for blood right now, and she's definitely a little bit turned up. There's just no doubt about that. So she says, do you have healthy habits? And he says, yeah. Generally, especially when you're in a debate or an argument, a disagreement, cameras are rolling, you want to give a yes or a no, a definite, clear answer. You don't want to be casual, informal, colloquial, because you want to look the part that you're dressed for. He's wearing a suit, crouched over like this, saying, yeah. Not a good way to represent yourself at any level. Shout out to Mr. Monticelli. He writes, I met and hung out with MLD in Tokyo, where he lives, and have seen firsthand violence, him be violent and aggressive with women who hurt his feelings, rejecting him, a complete insecure, phony guy, like all the red pill gurus. I'm just reading the super chats here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just reading the super chats. Apparently, the Saint has firsthand experience. It is what it is. That's a primary source, we call that.
Like fat shame me like last week or so?
I don't know.
You think that
Okay, so she's mad right now. And if I were him, the first thing I would have done straight away was like, you're big mad. Why is that? You see, one of the superiority a real man has over a woman, especially in terms of debate in front of a television, in front of a camera displayed on a television screen, is that you have control over your emotions, namely, which is to say that, as the Master Sun Tzu points out, it is upon you to stir without being stirred, which is to say, stir her emotions, get her mad, get her more mad. She's already mad. She's offended that you fat shamed her. That's not even a real term, fat shame. She made that up. Attack that. Tell her she's still fat. Yeah, let's get after it. But don't retreat. Don't you ever retreat. We know you're losing the battle when you retreat. So she's mad right now. She's being aggressive. And what's more, she's speaking to something that touches the hearts of many women, which is insecurity. She doesn't want to be attacked based on her body. So invariably, the girls are going to team up against him. You got to expect that, and that's fine. You're strong enough to deal with him if you're a real man. And what's more, once they see you take that iron fist, you heard me? Yeah, they all going to respect it. They're going to bow down because they're weak. So once you show strength, they're going to show weakness. You're showing the strength that's within. They're going to show the weakness that's within. So she basically said he was fat shaming her. What should he do now? First thing he should do is say, fat shame. What is that? That's not even a real term. And oh, by the way, being fat is shameful. Yes, it's shameful. And then now he's pushed the conversation away from what he did or didn't say. Now we're having a conversation about is being fat shameful. And me, just because I am who I am, I'm like, hey, stand up, shorty. Let's see what you're really working with. Let's see if you're fat. Right now, she looks like a normal size. You heard me? She looked like a normal size sitting down. I don't know. I would, shorty, stand up. Let's see what it is. I'll stand up. You stand up.
that's normal from a man, from a stranger to fat shame somebody?
I don't remember.
So she said, do you think it's normal? He said, I don't remember. Well, is it normal? No, it is not normal. It is not common because most people are indirect. So no, it is not common for people to tell you something negative to your face, particularly when they are strangers. It is not normal, but we don't care about what's normal. No one is on this show to be normal. No one wants a normal amount of money. No one wants a normal lifestyle. No one wants a normal amount of recognition. So her entire argumentative basis is silliness. That's number one. Then number two, she's basically suggesting that he's a coward and he's verifying it in as much as she said, well, you fat shamed me. You came on my live session and you chatted something about me being fat. And he said, I don't remember. Well, bruh, either you did it or you didn't do it. And if you were a real savage, if you did it, you'd be like, oh, absolutely, I did it. And guess what? You're still fat. So I said it then. You were fat then. Right now you're still fat. Yeah, I would have dove into that. Why? Because I meant what I said. And it was true. So I'm going to dive right into that. And more importantly, what you're scared of, little buddy, is abroad. What's she going to do? Get up and sock you out? She can't do a damn thing. You heard me? She can't even keep composure. What is there to be scared of? So the only thing you're able to do at this point when you back down from what you said is you look weak because you back down. Now, here's the thing. If she's making a false allegation and he really did not say that, well, then I would have just got at her foul just for getting at me foul. Not to make a show of it, but because that's how I really feel. She accused me of sending a super chat or making a live chat message that I really didn't make. I get at her foul like, wait, who are you talking to? We're not on the same level. We're not on the same level. Because if you get mad, what's going to happen? Nothing. If I get mad, I'll tear this whole stage up. I'll tear you apart. I'll tear the whole stage up. No one can stop me. So don't disrespect me. I'm not someone to be disrespected here. Yeah, I'd have turned up right back on her. You heard me? But I for sure wouldn't still be over here in this pose right here that, a dissatisfied mom makes. I wouldn't be in that pose. No, sirree, Bob. No. Mr. Monticelli writes, he got liposuction and sells fitness courses. Oh, on his head.
Did I call you fat?
Oh,
Don't
okay.
do that.
Wow,
Don't
that
do
sounds
that.
so fake.
You know where you were in the chat.
That sounds
You
so
knew you were in the chat. Don't.
So I don't know precisely what this whole setup is about, meaning you got a female that appears to be working the board. She's like in some capacity of doing like the digital side of things. And then you got 3 other broads on the panel, and you're the only guy. You got to be a real P, a real boss to inhabit that position. Either that's who you are or that's not who you are. Me, I feel comfortable. You heard me? Yeah, sit me right there. I'm in my element. I'm in my element. Let's work. He's not in his element. No. And here's the worst thing. Let 2 broads think they're about to argue with me at the same time. No. Hold on, bitch. Yeah, you hold on 1 second. Let me deal with her. I'm gonna come right back to you. Oh yeah, stay there. Don't move. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, you want to run your mouth? I got you. But let me tear you up. Then I'm gonna turn around and tear you up. And after you're both torn up, ain't nobody gonna have nothing to say. No, ain't nobody gonna have nothing to say. But what I wouldn't do is I'm not gonna let these broads start babbling. Number one, because it's not civilized. You have to teach, which is to say, you got to teach them about being civilized. We don't talk over one another. We take turns talking. If you guys, oh damn, I just blocked the wrong person. Saint Re, you got to DM me your email address. I just accidentally blocked you. My fault, player. My fault, player. Time zone's crazy. Saint Re, you got to DM me your email address. Send me your email address on Patreon. I got to unblock you. My fault. The point is that you have to first set the decorum, set the standards. And then we can communicate within a civilized framework. And that's going to allow you to properly address these chicks one by one. Right now, you're losing the moral ground in as much as they're making you out to be a liar. You may be, I don't know. I don't know this guy.
Don't do that on camera.
I don't know.
Wow.
Don't do that.
Don't do
Don't
what?
do that, MLD.
Now they're talking to him like he's a boy, like he's an actual child. Don't do that. That's a chastisement. You hear me? They're forbidding him to do something. That's a chastisement. That's something that your mom tells you. That's not a good look right there. No, I wouldn't go for that one bit.
Because you were
way,
in
like-
the chat with your checkmark name doing that.
What was I saying?
Listen, it's okay if you want to do those things,
Yeah.
but own up to what you do.
What was I
I
saying?
mean, women are.
Okay, so this guy is probably a loser. Excuse me, probably a loser. I meant probably a liar. I didn't mean a loser. There's no need to insult this guy. I meant he's probably a liar in as much as he's asking someone else what he was saying. This does not sound like the position of someone who's being falsely accused. This sounds like the position of someone who is being rightly accused and is not being honest, which generally speaking, when you're lying, it's coming from a position of fear. You're scared of consequences. You're trying to evade something. And that is not anything we can respect as men, especially when it's like fear of what? Fear of some random broads. You're not sleeping with any of these broads. Like they don't control your money. Like I just don't understand it. And one thing that really kills me is like, who's this random chick that's supposed to be on the laptop? You heard me? She in the corner. She got all this shit to say. Like if anybody needs to shut the fuck up, it's her. You heard me? Like I wouldn't even want her in the mix. I'm like, yo, shorty, shut the fuck up and play on the computer. Anyways, back to you, little fat bitch. And I'm going in. You heard me? She would have been like, damn, I just opened up a can of worms. That's right, bitch. I said you was fat on the internet. Now here we are in person. Your ass is still fucking fat, okay? We going in. But, hey, this seems like the young man is being exposed here. Shout out to Tommy. He writes, peace of saints. I think it's ludicrous that female friends and have had many people call me a misogynist and sex fiend. That's funny. Do you think it is morally wrong to not believe in friendship with women? Is it morally wrong? No, it's not. Is it a waste of a man's time to try to proselytize his ideas to those who are not receptive? Yes, it is a waste of time. Hence, I probably wouldn't be, espousing that men and women should not be friends. And if I'm dealing with a young lady who has a male as a friend or a best friend, and I have been in that situation, I just know that there's a limited time I can deal with her for there's something that is not quite right in her mind. And surely she's never going to have a proper connection with you or a proper respect because she doesn't understand the appropriate male-female dynamics. And she doesn't want to make it easier for you to protect that which is yours, which is her. You feel me? She doesn't want to make it easier for you to mind your assets. Shout out to Sosa. He writes, please keep going, Saint. These lessons are important. Indeed, they are important to some of us who know. Esmokims writes, I like when you analyze trending news and event videos. It is picking your brain. Keep up the good work. My black box copy is waiting for your autograph if I'm ever in your vicinity. It's very possible. I'm everywhere like air. I'm in every place like space. You did.
All right, I'll get right on that.
And that's not masculine energy.
Just
Masculine energy
High
owns
value
up
man. Remember, I told you
to
that.
what
Don't
they
come.
So you see they're talking at the same time. I would have broke that down. Boom. Hey, hold on one second. Only one of you is talking. Who's addressing me? Oh, you're addressing me. What do you have to say? And when she starts telling me about masculine energy, I would have had to stop her right there. Like, hold on, you're abroad. So you ain't going to tell me about masculine energy because you ain't running a damn thing. You're just running your mouth. You ain't running my program. And I can tell you, you don't know about masculine energy because you don't even know about feminine energy, which you're supposed to have. So if you don't know about the energy you're supposed to have, surely you can't advise me on masculine energy. Furthermore, it's not energy. We're not looking at an energy source. We're looking at a number of behaviors and traits that are typical of the human male. And some of them might be driven by testosterone. And one of these traits is aggressiveness. And I'm going to get aggressive if you bitches keep running your mouth with this bullshit ass nonsense, okay? So you hoes need to talk one at a time, and I'm going to break you down one at a time. But we ain't going to run the 4-on-1. We're going to run the 1-on-1 back-to-back 4 times. He hasn't set up any parameters, and that's the responsibility of a man, is to take leadership. It's a natural instinct, and also to establish order. And right now they're not operating with any order. But here's the thing. Some people thrive in chaos. The female personality, especially these types, these belligerent, mentally ill ones, they thrive in drama and chaos. And they're cooking it up. And it feels like it's like a bad girls club all against this little fella. And let me tell you one more thing. This broad in the middle is wearing some goddamn high heels with some damn recycled ass army pants. This bitch got a Vietnam veteran, war veteran pants on. And then she got this bullshit ass track jacket. Looked like she got it off of Wish. And then she's failed to keep her bleaching fresh. So she got a brown mohawk, and this motherfucker got a brown mohawk with the blonde on the sides. I'll be like, shorty, you can't advise me on masculine energy. Shit, you can't even advise yourself on what clothes to put together in the morning. What kind of shit is this you wearing? You need to sit down and shut the fuck up. Now, the chicks to the left and to the right of you, they look presentable. And the one on the left who appears to be Asian, or at least mixed with Asian, she doesn't look fat to me. You know, maybe she's concealing it. I'd have her stand up. Now, by Asian standards, she might be overweight. But at the end of the day, bro, if you said what you said, you know, stand on it. Let's buck. And that's what she want to do. She should be scared to buck with you. You heard me? My thing is anybody should be scared to buck with me because I'm going to go the whole mile. I'm going to talk shit to you, talk about your family members, your appearance, your arguments, your background and upbringing, and I'll beat
Tell people horse either.
Is this Destiny's wife right here? I'm like, you have intercourse with a dirty rascal.
Just saying. I mean,
Like, is this, am I right or wrong? Is that Destiny's wife? I'm like, you're nobody. You're only famous because you're associated with this gummy bear kid who has rainbow hair. And the only reason he's famous is because he's a mascot for today's perversion, which is funded by persons like George Soros who are sick and mentally ill. And you're not a real person. Like, you're not articulate, you're not comical, you're not nice to look at. There's nothing about you that fits any model of why you would be popular, except that you fit the current narrative. That's it. You heard me? Yeah, I'd have been in that motherfucker like a wrecking ball, taking all these hoes out. And this little hoe on the far right, Destiny's the one that gives Destiny the finger. This chick, man, she looks like an evil temptress. Look at this sick pervert. Look at the look on her face. And who the hell told this dumb broad to put these light pastel purple colored shoes with a completely jet black dark dress? I mean, these broads can't even get done the basics that they're supposed to get done. You know, we want to talk about masculine energy. What about feminine energy? Involves looking good, you dumb broad. It looks like you got brown hair. You're wearing jet black dress. We all know that brown, strawberry, blonde, reddish hair, you're going to look better with a dark green. You heard me? Don't you read basic magazines, broad? You don't even look presentable. The Asian one, the only one that looks presentable, but she got a bad attitude. You heard me? But I could have worked that out. Only reason she came at old boy because he's soft and sweet. That's it. And I hate to say that because I've not really seen him operate. I don't know anything about him, but it's abundantly clear right now. You know, we're not always on. Sometimes we have an off day, but he too far off. You heard me? You know, if you're a player, you don't never get that. You know, once you get in the game, you should go, okay, I know where I'm at. pass me the rock. I might not be draining it from the 3-point. I can't shoot the 3 ball straight away, but let me hit a couple of these perimeter shots and let me get back in the game. Nah, he seemed like he ain't never had it. Nah.
Women can't handle criticism. I took that like a champ. That's fine. I'll take that. But I think you're
No, you didn't take that like a champ, Shorty, because you're big mad right now as we speak. So what are you talking about? These are called lies that you're telling me. You didn't take that like a champ. Stop it. And he's not. See, one thing she's doing is she's making accusations. She's moving forward, aggressive. Conversely, he's not making any accusations, or more accurately, counter accusations. He's not doing that. And so he fails to do anything that's going to advance him. He's only able to be in the defensive posture because he's not making any counter accusations. What can you do? By the way, Saint RE, I tried to type your email address in to add you as a protected user. That must not be the email address associated with your YouTube account. If you could repost the email address associated with that YouTube account. Carry on.
yourself as a man should probably work on that instead of saying that I don't want to traumatize women, because it definitely shows that
I don't want to traumatize women.
we don't want to traumatize.
See, right there, he's already catching an L. The woman's mind is scattered. The woman's mind is scattered. What you have to do as a man is hold her down and force her to think in a linear way. What I mean is, what was the initial issue? Well, the initial issue was you called me fat. Okay, cool. Now you went on to a different issue, which is you don't want to traumatize women. Wait, hold on, dear. Which are we talking about? Are we having a conversation about me calling you fat, which I did and you are? Or are we having a conversation about a man such as myself not dealing with a woman who is traumatized and not worth it? Which are we talking about? You see, his mind is not moving fast enough to keep track of her, going on to different subjects using red herrings. And this is common. Sometimes this is done by a debate tactician, a skilled polemicist, or this is done by someone who's just brain dead and trying to escape, losing on a particular point. But in this case, I think she's just a broad with a lot on her mind, and she big mad. He ain't even able to do anything. He's just in a responsive posture, which is not what you want to be in. Let's use the metaphor of intercourse. When you're in missionary position, the female's there with her legs up in a responsive position. You heard me? She just taking what you giving. And that's pretty much what he is right now. He in missionary, just taking that deep. Terrible. Terrible.
Man either. That's the thing. So
Okay.
that's why it's easier to go to Japan and find the konnichiwa type of girl, because they're not going to debate with you. That's the problem.
That's right. They're just robotic.
First off, broad, nobody's looking for a debate, you dumb dingbat bimbo broad. No one wants a debate, especially not in their personal life. Maybe it's entertaining for YouTube, but no one wants to debate in their household. That's number one. Number two, even in Japan, which probably she's never been, even within agreement, there is disagreement. Even when you agree with someone on an outcome, or you agree with them on the why of a matter, the how, there's still a difference of opinion. No human being is a robot, however much we'd like a female to be a robotic Stepford wife. So she's being hyperbolic and foolish. And hence, what she's saying is devoid of true meaning. And she's just being argumentative. I would have easily obliterated her. So he doesn't have the masculinity, the confidence, or the intellect to operate in this situation. He's getting obliterated by a chick who really should be child's play for a boss. You dig? Bitcoin writes, Peace of the Saints. MLD tries to portray a dominant image. He ain't doing that right now when he goes on podcasts, but this time he crumbled like a paper bag. Well, to crumble, that would suggest that at some point you were a strong edifice. At some point you were a castle or a fortress, and then you crumbled. But he pretty much showed up looking like a sand castle. You heard me? He was a sand castle. One wave came in, the boy just melted away. He talks a lot about inner game. Well, that's deep. But deep down, he isn't congruent with what he portrays. So few are. So few are. Indeed. So few.
Female slaves in Japan. They have no personalities. They just say konnichiwa.
Yeah, sumi-san, all that shit that you like. It's evident that you're used to women who don't check you when you're being irrational.
Thanks.
And way out of.
So I would have stopped her right there, because she is so masculine that she's using the terms men use to describe women and female misdeed. For example, she said a woman who checks you. Whoa, women don't check shit. You heard me? Yeah, she could check the air temperature, but you ain't checking a damn thing. That's not a woman's position. A woman's not strong enough to check a man. A woman does not check a man. In fact, if you look back historically, there used to be a diagnosis called hysteria. Yeah, Freud, look during that era. Yeah, it was hysteria. This could only be associated with the female. And this is when she got to a level of emotionalism where there's really no way to bring her back to reality, no discussion way, just other ways, huh? Yeah. So what you mean check you? That's silly. And then she said, when you get irrational. So now what she's doing is she's projecting the traits that we typically associate with the female onto him as a male. Total insults. He getting obliterated right now in the most disrespectful way by somebody wearing a dress. Come on.
Place.
Thanks for the whole synopsis on the 37 years of my
It
life.
shows.
You've,
Well,
you've
age
arrived
really
here
doesn't
in the
mean to.
So right now he's being passive aggressive and he's acting like a sweetie pie, like being sarcastic. Frankly, I hate sarcasm. Generally speaking, I try not to engage in it. Thanks for assessing the last 37 years of my life. Bro, come on, knock it off, man. We playing hardball out here. She's actually coming at you fairly direct, which is impressive for a female. You heard me? She coming at you direct. She's letting you know, bro, I'm coming for your neck. I'm disrespectful. I'm likening you to a broad. I'm creating analogies that make you look feminine. I'm attacking you directly. I'm speaking poorly of your character. I'm calling you a liar. What you gonna do? Huh? What you gonna do?
To a lot of people, it shows. Like, you could be, my grandma's 80 years old and still drives like shit. It doesn't matter how old you are. So I would have to say, you sound like somebody who really looks down on women with the way that, you even made a whole hit piece on Nat. I think that's weird.
I don't know who Nat is, but that's another thing I would have said, look, I'm talking to you and you talking to me. Don't bring Nat into this where you don't feel like you're strong enough to deal with the situation on your own, number one. And number two, if I did a hit piece on Nat, let her take that up. And when was that? However long ago that was? Why are you bringing that up just now? Is it because you're hurt because I said you're fat? Now, here's the thing, love. If you're not fat, you shouldn't be hurt about it. Because I tell you what, if you called me fat, I wouldn't be bothered in the least bit. Why is that? Well, I wouldn't be bothered because I'm not fat. You see, that's the major difference that we have to understand. Being that it has no ring of truth, it doesn't bother me one bit. In your case, it does have some ring of truth, which is why you seem to be so angered by it. Huh? So, yeah, you're fat and you're mad because you're fat.
I didn't make a hit piece on her.
This guy, you should really change your pronouns because I could see that's not.
See, there it is again, right there. She's insulting his manhood itself directly. She's insulting his actual manhood. Rick, I just figured out what the issue is, Rick. If you would send your YouTube URL, please forgive me. Send your YouTube URL to your account. So like once you log in, the URL associated with your YouTube account, send me that. That'll let me reinstate you. So she done told this boy to change his pronouns. So she's giving him all variety of slaps in the face. Wow. And he taking it too. Shout out to Reagan writes, I do short-term rentals. How do I go about an investor saying he wants to work with me, but not reciprocating in action by not signing a contract? Then he's not serious. The contract doesn't even mean anything. It's the check, right? So there's levels to it. There's the verbal agreement to do business. Then there's the contract, the written agreement, which really isn't legally binding in as much as you're not going to pay for a lawyer to enforce it, right? Let's be real here. And then there's the actual money going through and being remitted to you. So that's the real money in the bank. When people are dragging their feet, the deal's not going to get done. Look for a new investor. Don't kid yourself. Urgency is the number one indicator that a deal is going to go through, whether it's a date with a female or a business deal. I've seen this kind of thing a lot of times. I remember the first time I encountered it and I was perplexed, and I told an existing investor about a situation like, hey, I had this sale. I was going to do a B2B sale to a nonprofit. They were so interested in it. And then every time it was time to pay the invoice, they didn't pay it. And the investor said, they like you. They don't want to tell you no. They don't have the money. If they had the money, they would have paid. They don't have the money. Move on. That's what it is. Simple. That's life, unfortunately, but that's the beauty of, dealing with experienced men. Shout out to Mr. Pete, comes in with tuition by a Cash App. That's the beauty of experienced men, right? I can tell you because I've gone through this a bunch of times. And let me also remind you, if you have a really good business or a good opportunity and it's clearly good and it's going to cash flow and provide returns to your investors, it should be easy to go get another investor. Jaylon writes, what is the name of the video where you were in that cold blue suit talking about winner mentality? Jaylon, post that in the member only Discord, because that's actually where I pulled that clip. One of the members had populated it in there. And so the member will be able to share what the name of that video was. And apparently I was going in on that one.
Your best trait to actually own up to what you do. And I think that's really disgusting.
Why don't you sit in your masculine energy? And
so right now the jabs are just infinite, and they're questioning his actual manhood in a very literal manner. And you have the one that's in the middle just keeps coming in just to add on to the attack. And this is a dangerous thing because, you usually got to destroy the head, the leader, right? You want to destroy the ringleader. And his failure to destroy the ringleader, the hyenas have been emboldened. And then when the second one hops in, surely there's going to be a third and a fourth, because it's easier. The farther you are back in the line, hopping in to pile onto someone who's already at the bottom of a pile, it's easier. You heard me? Yeah, throwing the first punch is the hard punch to throw. But the third and the fourth, when the person's already down and you're just kicking them while they're down, that's easy. So what he's failing to do is to put up a meaningful defense. And that's why, he's just getting cooked increasingly by a bitch wearing some motherfucking army pants. I mean, what this bitch thinks she a motherfucking Spice Girl? What is this, 1999? Tacky ass hoe. Give me a fucking break with this goddamn A cup and this C- face. I couldn't stand a bitch like this running her mouth at me like that. Like, what in the motherfuck qualifies you, bitch? You got a low IQ, you tackier than a motherfuck. You ain't got enough bread to keep your hair fresh. How the fuck you talking to bosses like this, bitch? You shouldn't even be making eye contact. Who's speaking for your raggedy ass? Nah, fuck that. Who put you in the middle, bitch? You ain't even good enough you don't look good enough to be in the middle of anything. Your ass needs to stand in the middle of the freeway and play hide and seek. See if your ass make it through the night. You don't need to be up on TV in the middle of nothing. It's your fake ass upper lip. All these bitches, all these white hoes got these fake ass upper lips nowadays. Shit kills me.
maybe just apologize for what you said.
This bitch thinks she on CNN. She didn't just told a motherfucker to apologize. What in the fuck you think this is? Whole thought she think that nigga OJ Simpson. And look at Destiny's sex partner on the far right. Look at the way she looking at blood. Like, you gonna fold? She looking at blood out the side of her eye. Like, you gonna fold? You gonna let the bitch tell you to? You gonna let this bitch tell you to apologize? Like you a little ass toddler? These bitches treating this boy like he a toddler. Shout out to Saint CB. He writes, "Peace to the saints. You hate to see it." Oh, I ain't tripping. He ain't one of the saints. You heard me? I expect this kind of behavior from the average dude. Shout out to Mr. Cook. He writes, "Just finished reading the Black Box Serious Game." Thank you, Marquette. Appreciate it. And shout out to the saints who have read the Black Box. Just today, we had two folks come in by a super chat and sing the praises of the work. It is indeed a piece that will give you much education and, more importantly, inspiration so that you can get on your path. If you like the Black Box, you can get it in paperback on Amazon.com, get it within a day or two on Prime. And if you want a low-cost copy, the ebook is on marquettism.com. Carrying on.
I think that that's very masculine. I think that's a great way because I feel like, number one, in a war, everyone thinks they're right?
Yeah.
First off, who are you again to tell me what's masculine? You're an ugly woman telling me what's masculine. Okay, that's number one. Then number two, you're referring to war. Bitch, just because you got on some tacky ass camouflage pants, bitch, does not mean you know shit about war, okay? This bitch thinks she a Vietnam veteran out here, her raggedy ass. Talking about in a war, everyone thinks they're right. Well, whether that's true or not, what the fuck does that have to do with this, bitch? We're live on YouTube. There's no war going on right now, you nut asshole.
Yes.
So I think that right now is a great opportunity.
She got a nose job too. How you got your fucking upper lip inflated and you got a nose job and you bleached your hair? Nothing about you is real. From the neck up ain't nothing real. And you still look fucking mid. You still look average as hell. How the fuck is that possible with modern science? God damn. I'm just trying to imagine how fucking busted this bitch was before that. And don't anybody tell me that's not a nose job, because I know a nose job when I see a nose job. And she got her eyebrows colored in. Let's go.
For you to show that men can be masculine and have feelings and can also regress.
Wow. Now this is evil right here. She's telling him like she's his leader. And she's saying, men follow you, little boy. So little boy, I, the woman, the matriarch, am going to lead you, little boy. Follow what I tell you, little boy. So the other little boys who follow you will know how to act to please a woman like me, which is no woman, which is a fucking scallywag that's out of her mind. This is fucking amazing. Wow. This guy's getting eaten up, and you know what? The whole damn gender is taking an L with them. Is that bad of an L? He's hurting all of us. Shout out to Parker. He writes, can I ask, do you think there's any group of women that like macho men? Yeah, absolutely, my boy. He writes, I notice Asian like dutiful men that don't, but they don't appreciate macho men. I don't agree with that. In fact, when I was in South Korea, I distinctly remember having at least 3 conversations where South Korean women who have only been around South Korean men before they live in South Korea told me, you know, we love the foreign guys because they're more masculine. You know, they don't wear the tight pants. They don't wear the purses. They're more masculine. South Korean women saying this, huh? They're not as sensitive. So most women will like that macho man. There's just no doubt about it. Even the feminists, bruh. I could tell you stories of, I just recently went out with a feminist. Yeah, even the feminists like macho men. I got stories I could tell you. And don't let it be bedtime, you heard me? Then they really like a macho man. Yeah. Bro, I was just watching some of my footage last night, man. I was like, shot and thug shorty out. You heard me? Yeah. Shout out to Darius. He writes, thoughts on keeping in contact with female acquaintances to be involved in events where they bring other female friends. Yeah, if that's your angle, yeah, sure. Carry on. That's your angle. Tyree writes, we need you on these panels, comedy gold. Oh, yeah. But we already know it's going to be wild different if I'm on the panel, right? We already know they're not going to come at me the way they came at Lil Buddy. It's not going to go like that. It never does. It never does. They're going to look him in the eye and be like, you're soft and sweet. We can tell by your body shape. And they're going to look me in the eye and they're like, there's something very dark in this man's eyes. This man looks like he will watch us bleed to death and not give a fuck, which is factual. No, they ain't going to come at me like that. Knock it off. And if they do, they're going to get their asses shredded. You heard me? I'm going to shred their ass and say, hey, if your man is on set, you know, I'm about to say some ruthless shit. So we could just skip what I'm about to say and I could beat his ass if you want me to. You heard me? Because you ain't going to be here disrespecting me, bitch. They're going to have that bleep button ready. You heard me? As soon as I pull up, the same as sinners here, get the bleep button ready. Yeah, bleep me out. Because I ain't going to tolerate these hoes bumping their gums like this. Especially this fake face hoe, Play-Doh face ass hoe. Wait, hold on. I thought I didn't like upper lip. Like her fucking lip. Jesus Christ. Her lip is on flat mode. That upper lip is non-existent. Call the police. Her upper lip's gone. Yeah, now I'm gonna need y'all to throw a little something in there. Not too much. Don't duck lip her, but just give her a little something.
To show that men can be masculine.
Wait, why is she
and have feelings that can also regress?
How to be masculine? How psychotic is that? Men can have feelings? Bitch, shut the fuck up. You don't even feel confident enough to wear your own face. You don't feel confident enough to wear your own face. You hate that which you actually are. So who are you to guide anyone on self-expression? It's ludicrous as a concept. Ludicrous.
And think back about what they said. Maybe in the moment you said it because you got excited or whatever, and you were just in this phase of yours. But I think sitting here in front of her, you're talking about that you want this wife and this submissive person and all of this, but where's your respect towards women?
Now,
Yes.
you already hear the voice of another one coming in while they're arguing. He should have had a chance to respond. And if she didn't yield the floor, he needs to take the floor right now. That's number one. Number two, you have to check them on their illogic. This is precisely why they're not qualified to lead. Illogic. He called one woman fat. He disrespected one woman. So how is it that we're talking about women? No, there was a woman, singular, who was disrespected, which may be because of her individual lack of merit. So do not associate my comment about one woman to all women. That is a leap of illogic and irrationality. So you should sit down and shut up because you don't understand the world Hell, you don't even understand basic English and logic. So sit down and shut the hell up. Darius writes, Angela Knight owns and operates Ocean Nails in Tampa. Very successful. Is this Angela Knight? I don't know. If this is Angela Knight, let me know. Shit, I don't know. But Ocean Nails, it's typical. It just shows the limited thinking. Generally, when women are business owners, they have a business that is either in the sex industry, they're a high-tech prostitute or a straightforward prostitute, or it's in the cosmetics industry, which is to say they never innovate, they never create businesses that benefit humankind, that benefit, children, families. It's always something that goes directly to their vanity and their low sense of self-esteem, which is why if we were to leave it up to women to run the world, they'd run it into the ground because they can scarcely see past their own vanity and their own nose. They're so concerned with fucking fixing their face. How could they be concerned with fixing an issue in the world, right? You got a motherfucker who's a nail technician on here thinking that she's Nietzsche. You hear, bitch thinks she Confucius, but don't know who Confucius is. You feel me? This is the kind of shit we dealing with out here. I'll give you guys a little bit of time to hit the like button, share the work, send in tuition. Oh, by the way, for those who want to look diesel, you dig? The link, the shirt is linked in the description. You're gonna look a little more diesel than you really are in this one because we cut the sleeves high. You feel me? Being that the sleeves are cut high, it cuts off right where the bicep curvature is. So you're gonna look diesel. You heard me? So if you need that extra diesel look, manandwomanbrand.com, I got you covered. We got it in about 3 colors. We got this denim shirt in obviously this black denim. We got it in a green and a red and also a navy blue. So that's 4 colors total for you. We might need to get this for old boy in the suit because he calling people fat, but he ain't looking exactly slim and trim. Tony writes, females do this all the time. I like burgers, but it doesn't mean I like Burger King. Indeed, preach. I like women, doesn't mean I like 304s. Indeed, preach. Just because I don't like you doesn't mean I don't like women. Precisely. And the worst thing with the female is that they're so scared of accountability as an individual, that they remove the insult from themselves and they generalize. They take the specific and they make the specific general so that they as the individual can escape blame. Wow. That's why every time you say something about them as an individual, all of a sudden you're talking about all women. Or if you're talking with some of these broads, oh, you insulted me, you must hate your mama. Bitch, you ain't my mom. My mom's nothing like you. What's my mom got to do with this? You a dumb bitch. I'm talking about you being exposed, wearing a mini skirt, and got a link tree in her Instagram profile that links directly to an OnlyFans. My mom ain't out here living like that, bitch. You insult my mama like that again, I'm gonna have to beat your ass, bitch. Okay? That's you, ho. Yeah, don't play games with me. This how they doing out here. This how they moving.
You run like an entire male empowerment thing. Like I think that's important that people look up to you. And what's funny? I actually subscribed to you prior to you doing that. And I thought that was so out of pocket. And I was like,
see, there she goes again. She's using all of the terms that men use to describe women. Out of pocket. That's a term that a pimp uses to describe female behavior of a hoe before she's about to get her ass pimp slapped back into reality. Oh, bitch, you out of pocket. Oh, we about to bring you back. Bring you back. Yeah. Back. I got time to bring you back to the time when your class was directions. Yeah, so this pocket concept is yet another word she's applying. So you have females who are basically in a situation where they're taking the male leadership role, and it's occurring because this is a weak male. I mean, that's pretty much all you could call it. That's pretty much all you could call it.
Wow, like people like you, respectfully to anyone that's listening, this is why I stepped out of the red pill space, because you guys are so quick to demonize women in the West.
First off, Ho, I was the first person to say no pill years ago, literally. Secondly, when you have a space that's supposed to be designated for men and you got all these broads in the space, Melly Monaco and just pearly things and all this other stuff, it's like, bruh, y'all motherfuckers been infiltrated. And what you're gonna find out later, confirm when the audio's back cracking. We got an audio lag, say it ain't so. Shout out to Josiah, writes peace of saints tuition for the good game. Appreciate you, boss. Okay, we back good. All right. It's funny because my internet is saying that it's at 100%. Really, there shouldn't be anyone else on the internet. I think it's like actually a YouTube thing. They're throttling me right now. But audio is straight. Okay, cool. Can you guys confirm if the video is good to go?
you, all of these girls have been working since we were old enough to work. A lot of us have to retire our families, but
see, that didn't even linguistically make sense. You said a lot of us have to retire our families. What the hell does that even mean? Furthermore, working is not something that makes you behave and think in a masculine way. Working is something that gets you a check, and that is commendable. And the truth is, you don't have to work, not at your ages. You could have very easily found a male who can provide for both of you. But it's your choice to work. You're creating a false dichotomy.
Instead of people seeing that, you guys demonize women for masculine traits when we're also working just like you.
See, you dumb bitch. Working is not the masculine trait. The way you're talking and thinking, that's the masculine trait, okay? See, you don't even have a fucking ability to self-reflect.
And we did, I mean, I don't expect respect, but like there was no beef and it was so unnecessary. And I think it's, I mean, that's accountability that some people should take, but to each their own.
Yes.
Just saying.
I still just want him to tell her to stand up. I want to see if she's actually fat. She looks straight right now. I'm looking at her like, I'll get my wolf on, you dig? I'll thug this little broad out, make her call me daddy and make her take back all that feminist shit she said while I'm beating her down, you dig? You know what? Just because I'm a nice guy, I'll let Destiny wife hold the camera while I do it. You did.
So what are you upset that I called you fat?
This is upset.
Look at this guy.
This is upset.
Clearly.
This is addressing.
Look at his, I want you to observe his posture. Here's a couple very important things, and you guys are welcome. Check this out. Now, look at his legs. Generally speaking, their level of relaxation that you just do not want to get to as a man. You know, it is, we're not here to be relaxed. We're here to be men. Men are protectors. Men can be aggressors. And if you look at his feet, ankle crossed over ankle, do you guys notice that there's another person ankle crossed over ankle? He's not the only one. Okay, give me a second. Let me change internet real quick. I'm gonna change internet sources. Bear with me. Let me know if we're back cracking right now. I just changed internet networks. And so hopefully that should have improved things. We got a little bit more ism to give. And Rick, I just replied to you. That's the name that was popping up associated with that user. Let me know if that was the right one. Okay. So we're back, looks good. Okay, fantastic. Let's work then. Now let's get deep into this posture. Check this out. Chat, let me know. His body language is the weakest of everyone present. Look at his ankle crossed over ankle. Huh? Now, can you tell me who he looks like from a body language standpoint? Ankle crossed over ankle? Ankle crossed over ankle, he has the exact same body language of the female who is dominating him. He is literally mirroring the body language of a female, the one who is dominating him. And what is more worth observing is the reason her legs are ankle over ankle. Generally, women will cross their legs so that their vagina and underwear are not exposed because they're wearing whore dresses, right? So in as much as that's the case, shout out to Idris, right? Peace of the Saints supporting from Australia. In as much as that is the case, you know, the two chicks in the black dresses, their legs are crossed to cover up the crotch. And generally, females are in physical positions where they're crossing the legs. The male usually has the scrotum exposed with his legs open wide, similar to the white gentleman on the far left. His legs are open wide. However, he is obscuring and covering the scrotum with his arms, which is not masculine. You look at the statue of Abraham Lincoln, he's sitting with his legs wide open and his arms resting on his knees, his hands on his knees. Scrotum, genitals fully exposed and confident. Conversely, this boy in the blue with his feet crossed, if anything were to pop off, he'd be slow on the alert because he has to uncross his legs and then get onto his feet. It is not the masculine way. He's in a very uncomfortable position. He's using a self-comforting gesture. He's holding on to the arm for dear life, and his legs are crossed. Extraordinarily weak body language, which betrays his stress, and it betrays his general feeling of defeat. That's all he's doing right now, is giving up his inner thoughts through his posture.
Well, why don't you want to own up to what you said, though? Why are you denying?
What was it that was said?
And if anything, we're kind of built the same, which is funny, dude. We're like, I mean, come on, man. Dude.
Shorty is so disrespectful. She just told a grown-ass man that she and he are built the same. If that ain't disrespect, what is?
You can't be sitting there acting like we're like, oh, and I'm like, dude, honestly, that's so out of pocket in so many ways.
Well, how about this?
Yeah.
This came out of left field, but I don't know. I'm like tuned in right now.
So he hasn't challenged Shorty on anything. All he's doing is sitting there like a goddamn Iraqi hostage, you know, getting interrogated by enhanced interrogation techniques by CIA. You know, he hasn't done anything on the offensive side. And the worst part about it is you got another grown man there who basically is just watching with popcorn. I didn't even know this dude right here. I didn't even know he was there till we was like goddamn 20 minutes in. I didn't even know he's there. And then this other chick, she's being silent as she should because this conversation has nothing to do with her. But the other ones are ganging up on her. Big sad. And this broad then just said, she done just told a grown man, you are shaped like an Asian woman. God damn, that's a slap in the face. That's what she just told him. You're shaped like an Asian woman you called fat.
Now, like,
Yeah,
well, I didn't know
let
this
him-
was
let him
happening on my
own
show,
up-
but here we
Let him own
go.
up to what was
Here we go.
said and let him clear the
So
room.
all
If
good.
we misinterpreted,
Ladies, hold on.
if we didn't
All right.
Okay, now you see this fella is doing precisely what I recommended some time ago, which is that you establish decorum. We won't speak at the same time. We'll speak in order. We'll go back and forth. The opposite positions will get one take in response to the other.
understand, let him
So
clear the air.
guys, let me just host the show for a second. You're upset because why?
I think that, listen,
I want you guys to notice how he said she's upset and she didn't deny it. But earlier, when MLD said she was upset, she denied it. She said she was not upset. So you see the difference in how she's responding to males she perceived to have different levels of strength and control in this dynamic. Huh?
Criticism, sure, but be real and own up to whatever mistake you make. Because again, you are leading whatever.
What did I say? What is so upsetting? I don't get it,
bro. Are you still on that? What did I say? Shit, really, my boy? You still on that shit? Knock it off. Saints, I'll give you a little bit of time to support the work, sending your questions, comments as we go. It would help us if you just keep sending them in, so we don't take any pause for the cause. You dig? Shout out to Joshua, who is a member at marquettism.com. And Rick, I did reply to you. Let me see if you got that. Oh, got you. All right. Yeah, see if you can send the URL, which is like the text that's in your address bar once you've logged into YouTube. If you go to your YouTube page from your account, I know you're not a creator, but if you go to that page, give me that URL. That'll help us. And I'm sorry, I tried to block a psychopath and accidentally got you because there's some lag. The chat moves fast sometimes.
Hey, why didn't you talk to me?
Is this chick supposed to be attractive?
You do all this content and you comment all these things, but you don't remember what you do. But you have all the comments to be made.
No, it's okay.
So for me, I'm just like, damn, shorty, who is this like ambiguous looking ass bitch that's like coming out of the cut? Like, damn, shorty, you ain't even on the main stage. You might be the sound engineer or the video switcher. Whoever you are, shut the fuck up. I don't even know what race you are. This bitch could be anything from Cambodian to Mexican. I don't fucking know, but shut the fuck up. Why does she keep coming out of nowhere attacking you? Let me give you a heads up, MLD, in case you don't know. This bitch don't like you, okay? She don't like your ass at all. In fact, she might hate your guts, okay? Shout out to Darius supporting the work.
Okay, I'll just endure this like I should in an abusive relationship.
Did she just say in an abusive relationship? Goddamn, why they always got to go overboard? And she called him irrational, but here she is going overboard talking about in an abusive relationship. Goddamn, bitch, you talking about a super chat is equivalent to an abusive relationship? Please stop it. Please. Shout out to Joshua, who's also a member at marquettism.com. You dig? Shout out to all the members who support the work.
Okay, so MLD, what do you recall of this?
I'm still.
Who's this little white chick right here who ain't said a damn thing? Who is this little skinny thing, man? Somebody let me know. I'm just curious. Look at this motherfucker right here looking clueless as hell. This motherfucker look clueless than a bitch. And just side note, you know, I know it's popular to get earrings and shit, but not everybody looks good with an earring, bro. You look like a motherfucking, you look like Steve the accountant with a goddamn earring. You know, you heard me? Like some shit just don't match up. You know, some shit just don't match up. That earring ain't vibing with you right now in general. Also with a business suit, the earring, Shout out to Greg. He writes, that girl was corny for bringing that up at the end of the podcast instead of addressing the issue prior to them filming. MLD always came across to me as a closeted homosexual piece of sense. You know what? I wasn't going to throw that out there because that is an abomination. But that earring kind of gave me that vibe. Like, bruh, that don't look right on you, player. Bowler alert. Shout out to Nico. He writes, peace of the saints. I'm a 26-year-old software engineer from NY, confident about my financial future, as you should be. I live about 1 hour from Manhattan /BK, not lively, very slow, very seldomly brush shoulders with lovely women. Am I hasty for wanting to move there despite the cost? No, I mean, you're not going to live forever. You know, enjoy. You're a young man. Get on the scene. You know, you don't have forever to be on the scene. So get on the scene and dominate it. And realize that there are a lot of scenes outside of Manhattan. You know, Manhattan is cool. You know, I don't mind sliding through Manhattan every now and then, but there's a lot of scenes. And, you know, whether you end up on the Manhattan scene, the Monaco scene, the Cannes Film Festival scene, you know, the Parisian scene, the Dubai scene, you know, LA, Vegas, wherever you end up is fine, but don't waste time. No, don't waste time. No, you're not hasty at all. Enjoy life. Get the most out of life.
Still waiting for that. Like, I don't get it. What was said that made you so upset?
This is the problem. So if we reverse the roles, if a woman addressed this, you're being emotional.
Not going to answer the question.
There is nothing.
Why don't you answer the question?
I'm asking the question. Well, why?
There are 3 people asking this man questions at once. He is not able to fend off any of them. And here he is just looking like a goddamn goofball who just somehow is out of sync with the entire room. That's the worst thing. You're out of sync with the entire room. For the last 20 minutes, the whole room has been zeroed in on one topic, which is the topic of you talking shit on a super chat or a live chat. That's the topic. Everybody been talking about that for 20 minutes. And here you are still trying to deny. This is the personality of a thief, the personality of a petty criminal, of a liar. It's like you've been exposed, yet you're still sticking with the lie. You just make yourself look foolish. This is why I always tell you, gentlemen, lying is very difficult. We should not even attempt it. It is generally amoral. And most importantly, we're not good at it as human beings. Hence, we should choose silence or the truth. Truth or silence. That's it. Tell the truth or shut up. Huh? And shutting up is mostly the way to go.
Are you so mad?
This is
She's
mad.
already said it.
Because
What
what?
do you-
What do you
She's
did?
You said
already
you saying that he
explained it.
called you fat and you're addressing
So
it.
just take accountability for it. Like, oh, my
Okay.
bad.
First off, no, not my bad. If I called you fat, bitch. To me, you're fat. Now, here's the thing. She's saying take accountability for it. There's no accountability to take. I called you fucking fat. Well, why are you bringing it up now? Like, is the topic of this show you being fat? If that's the topic, let's talk about it. Strip down, baby. We can analyze. But that's not the current topic. You're just mad. What you really want is an apology. And if he was sharp, he would have broke her ass all the way down because she came in weak. You heard me? She came in basically saying, I'm hurt. You call me fat. Oh, I'd have broke her down some more. She came in halfway broke. I'd have broke her down the rest of the way. Oh, you're insecure about your weight, huh? Oh, well, let's talk about it, huh? You can't handle somebody calling you fat? Maybe you are fat. Maybe you should lose some fucking weight instead of taking all this time arguing with me right now. Moreover, I said what I said. What you mean take accountability? You don't want accountability. You want an apology, and I don't apologize. Maybe when you're not fat, I can congratulate you on not being fat. But as it currently stands, I'm sticking with what I said, okay? Because I mean it. Shout out to Walt, and he writes, CGA also ambushed when he appeared on this pod, but he represented himself much better. MLD took an L on this one. Clearly, he did. Clearly. And you see, these guys are taking L's on the actual argumentative points. By the way, shout out to Heels In, came in via Venmo. Truly appreciate the support. They're taking the L on the argumentative point. The current topic of argument is what he said about her being fat. And he's showing himself to be a liar because no one currently believes that he didn't say that. And if he didn't say that, he could simply clarify and say, hey, whatever appeared in that chat, whether it was under my name or not, let me say now, unequivocally, you are not fat, if that's how he feels. Or if he gonna stick with it, he gonna say, look, I didn't send the chat, but you know what? You're still fat. You know, like, but you can't play this game. What are we talking about? What's going on? I don't understand. Come on, bruh. You seem like a kid right now.
I was
Because
probably
he's
just slurring
talking
on
about
Hennessy.
women that they have to do X, Y, and Z and all this what they have to do,
Yeah.
and you shouldn't, treat women badly because they have to submit to you. And in Tokyo or whatever, they're so feminine and this and that. But it's
Why do you keep bringing up Tokyo? These bitches are so fucking scared of their competition. That's the thing. They're bringing up the Japanese female. And the funny thing is these broads probably have not spent any significant time in the Orient. And they're bringing this up because they're scared, knowing that there are actually women who play their part and are superior competitors for men throughout the world. Superior competitors to get the men who are the highest earners, the most masculine, and the most appealing. And that's why through attacking this guy who seems to speak well of them, they feel like they get to attack those women. Nah, doesn't quite work like that, love.
here you come here, and when there's women,
Oh, I see why she's mad. I just figured it out. I figured out why she's mad. She's fucking fat. I see why she's taking up for him. Let me take this banner off real quick. She's fucking fat. Look at that fat ass stomach that's sitting on her legs right there. Yeah, she's fucking fat. That's why she's mad, because she felt like he was talking about her. Yeah, that's a lot of fucking stomach sitting on her lap. Fat hoe. Carrying on. That's why she mad.
are making valid points and there are respectable women, you come in the chat and you fat shame, or you go and make pieces about people, or whatever it is that
There's
you
no
want
such thing as fat shaming. Being fat is shameful. That's just calling a spade a spade. And this girl is fucking overweight. And that's why she's coming to the defense of this other girl, because they identify together as fat women. Yes. Instead of saying, hey, we need to help ourselves for our own health, and we're going to respect those who would speak the truth. For it might not be out of hate, but it might actually be a form of love to wish that we would treat ourselves better.
I do. At the end of the day, all that's being said is that, listen, if you're going to do those things, own up to it and then make your point about it. If you're going to do these things.
What do you mean? If he did it, if he said what he said already, it's in the past. He said he would, what he said. What is there to own up to? I wish I was on there, man. I wouldn't even, if I was on there and they were talking to him, I'd have just jumped in like, bitch, you fat. What's happening? You fucking fat. What's happening? You fucking fat. You eat too much, bitch. Now what's up? Because you can see this bitch clearly got a fat ass stomach. Shout out to these European chicks I'm around, man. Man, I was in the mall. I saw at least 4 chicks. I was convinced they had anorexia nervosa. Swear for God. I was like, this one right here got anorexia nervosa, but I'll take that over the opposite. I'll take it over the opposite. That's just me, though. Because when you be maxing out them real skinny ones, I'll be looking at my joint like, God, my dick looks massive going into this little broad. Boy, be having me going, yay. That's just me, though, man. I ain't tripping.
Things and you're not going to own up to it. And you're then what's the point? You're just what, bullying people?
What's up with, like, there's no integrity in what you stand on. Like, you nowadays, like,
damn, Shorty told him he has no integrity. They're eating this boy up. This man getting A1 roasted. Shout to Zenari, writes, piece of Zane's tuition. You're too funny, Zane. By the way, what are your thoughts on a business information systems degree? Is it worth pursuing? Backwards plan it. Ask yourself, what job does it lead to? And I would look at those jobs, look at the current salary for them. And I would look at the degree that you're considering. I would put it on a resume and I would send that resume out to current employers and see if you get invited to any interviews. That'll let you know the demand for that degree. Promise writes, an official podcast tour from the big homie would be lovely. I need to do it, really. I'm going to get around to it at some point. We also must remember a lot of these folks are scared of me. By a lot of them, I mean like 99.9% of them. They're terrified of me for a variety of reasons. They can't handle a guy who is like the cool kid in high school. That kid, in most cases, the cool kid in high school, he's broke right now. He failed in life because he was cool. That was his only asset. They're scared of the cool kid, the black guy who's cool and has swag and is also smarter than you and will also slap the shit out of you. That's terrifying to people. People are terrified of highly intelligent black men, of which there are not many. Anyways, every platform needs this ism. You ain't lying. All these posers need to be in the presence of superior intellect in a real way. Worth it to organize this. Yeah, it is worth it. You know, if you get it set up, I'll pull up. Let me know.
You're running a space where men stand on principles and honor, but like you see someone's face and you completely dismiss the fact that was disgusting. Like disgusting. We're not in a college.
No, it's not disgusting to call you fat. It's accurate if you're fat. I'm looking at you, Shorty, and you ain't fat to me. You ain't fat. That monk might be fat, hopefully, but I'll beat you down based on what I'm seeing while you sitting. I'll beat you down. Now, little fat cakes on the boards, the one that's working the soundboard and the video board, she fat. She can't get this. She got too much of that upper, what do they call that? Upper pussy, the booty stomach. That shit ain't cool. She didn't have a fucking kid. I can't fuck with that.
Beauty lobby. Like, I don't know you. It wasn't like I've said something to you. I said anything to you. I've stepped out of the.
See, basically, what she's saying in woman language, let me unpack this, gentlemen. In woman language, what this translates to is, you hurt my feelings. I wasn't mean to you. Why were you mean to me? I wasn't mean to you. Why were you mean to me? That's what it translates to. You hurt my feelings. And you know what? Here's the funny thing. A real boss, he could smooth that shit over so smooth where he could beat her down tonight. You heard me? He could smooth that over so smooth she'll let him hit tonight. Promise you. Promise you. Promise.
The combative space of the red pill stuff because of guys like you. And you prove my point to it. It's like, I don't know you. You don't have to do that. And that's fine. Mm-hmm. It's fine if I said, like, you're not my preference. I've never attacked you before.
Right.
But I'm still waiting for what made you upset.
It's okay.
This dude is playing games. Goddamn. I've never commented on this fella, but he's still playing games. It's just like, bruh, stop it. No one believes you. Shout out to Walton. You're right. Side note, I think Adam is smashing that loudmouth producer chick. She's often out of pocket with impunity. Oh boy, needs a sizzle. He might be smashing her. Shit, I wouldn't be at all surprised. That's how it kind of go. Shout out to Altitude. He writes, peace to the Saint. Shout out to the Saint for the game. You dig? The only one, apparently.
Right now, we're gonna call you the delusional girl.
All right. How about I just?
And we can just
Wow. Shorty said, we're going to call you the delusional girl. Wow. Did I call that early? Early. About 20 minutes ago, I said, probably 30 minutes now. Oh, damn, an hour. Time's flying. I said that they are assigning to him all of the traits that we typically assign to the lowest elements of the female gender or the female sex. They're assigning to him all those characteristics. And now she just did it again. Wow.
stick
You want
to
to just
that.
leave because this is retarded.
No, I will.
Why would
Oh, he's scared. No, he trying to run. You ain't trying to run, my boy. No, you ain't running from the fade, my boy. And you didn't even, wow. He didn't ask the other man like to get permission. Should I leave? Should I leave? This is retarded. Should I leave? Nah, it ain't retarded, my boy. You getting flamed. Scary ass. Wow. By the way, shout out to the ballers. Marvin writes, I've been watching too long without giving back. Please carry on. May Allah guide us all. Indeed, I truly appreciate that. Thank you, Marvin. Shout out to the double baller alert. You dig? Shout out to the real ones.
would you leave?
You're upset
Why
because
would you leave?
Let's-
You literally are. You're an example.
Can
for
some-
This hoe is talking so fucking much. The camera ain't even moving to this hoe's face. Look, this hoe in the background talking. She ain't even on stage. Who gave this bitch a mic? This bitch shouldn't even have a mic. God damn, this bitch talk a lot. Cameraman was like, fuck it. I ain't even moving the camera to this hoe. Hurry up and say what you gonna say. And who the fuck is the host today? The moderator. And you know what? This chick that's next to dude in the blue suit, I'm going to pipe her down. You know why I'm going to pipe her down? I'm going to pipe her down because I like how she shut the fuck up. That shit turned me on. That shit turned me on.
Somebody
Men.
tell me what I
You're an
said that everybody's
example
so
for
upset
men.
about that I'm
That's
still
you
waiting
make
on.
content
what was the
for it.
example that, just to
okay,
be clear?
I'll do the three. Was it
How is it, my boy MLD, that everyone knows what you said except you? You're playing dumb, but it's not working though. You're playing dumb, but you're more so looking dumb. That's not a good look.
three? Nah, I'm pretty sure it was, is this chick supposed to be attractive? 1, 2, she's 40 pounds too heavy.
Damn.
XYZ, something about
Damn.
weight. I wouldn't listen to her. Like, you just went on a rant. It was
Can we just ask her to stand up though so we could all see what it really do? Because she doesn't look 40 pounds overweight. She looks like she might be a little thick for an Asian. If she's 100% Asian, she might be a little thick for an Asian. But I'll max her out. He says, is she supposed to be attractive? She'll do. She's presentable. You heard me? She's presentable. We could work with her. We could do something with her. Yeah. And the worst part about it is that she's hurt. And because she's a masculine female, she doesn't know how to be honest and say, I'm hurt. You hurt me. You offended me. You insulted something that I hold dear, which is my appearance, because I'm a shallow woman. So you insulted my appearance, and that hurt me. A feminine woman knows how to be vulnerable. And that's why feminine women have happier lives, because they can get to the heart of the matter and we can deal with what's real. A feminine woman would have said, you hurt my feelings. They don't want to say that because they don't want to look like a woman. Because a female looking like a woman somehow is a position of weakness. Somehow it's a bad thing. So if she would have just did the thing that a real woman would do, which is to say, you insulted me, you called me fat, and that hurt my feelings. That hurt me. Then he would have had some softness with her. A real man would have said, you know what? I'm sorry. You know what? I said what I said. And truth be told, I don't have any reason to hurt you. I didn't want to hurt you. So though I might view you as maybe I think you'd be more attractive with less weight, but let me take that back. And as much as I didn't want to hurt you, it wasn't my intention. You've never hurt me before. You know, a man is not going to try to bash a good woman. It's not necessary. But see, she's coming out him masculine, which means that she's presenting him with aggressiveness and force. And you can really only fight fire with fire. You heard me? You got to be super high level to put some water on that fire and cool her out. he ain't got game like that. He ain't blessed with ism like that. Metaphorically speaking, he ain't got dick like that. Pause.
It's like,
How do you know that that was him, though?
Because it was his name with the check mark in the
Do
chat.
you recall doing
Bitch, I didn't ask you. God damn, this bitch talk a lot. Shit. Bitch, I didn't ask you. Man, I'll fuck around and blow a spitball at this bitch. This bitch talk a lot.
that?
I guess so. So
Okay,
you're
so
mad.
now you recall.
You're mad because I said you're.
Oh, hell nah. Even the little quiet white girl's like, this nigga phony as hell. Hold on, look at this shit. Listen.
Recall doing that?
I guess so. So
It was his name with the
My boy just said, do you recall doing that? And here he go.
when listen to her, like you just went on a rant. It was like,
How do you know that that was him, though?
because it was his name with the check mark in the
Do you
chat.
recall doing that?
I guess so. So
Wow. Really, bruh? I guess so. Let me give you some advice, gentlemen. As a man, you should always speak with certainty. You don't guess. There's no maybe. There's no There's no I think. If you don't know, if you're thinking, shut the fuck up until you figure it out. Huh? So the lesson should be think before you speak. And when you speak, speak with certainty. This guy is effeminate in his posture, in his earring, in his self-touching gestures, in his legs crossed at the ankle, whole way through. It's all bad, in other words.
you're
so
mad.
now you recall.
You're mad because I said you're
But you
40
see-
pounds overweight. I'm on every chat. I'm in Fresh and Fit. You know how it is when you're a streamer. You're in all these chats. I did like 6 shows in the last 6 days.
Those are called excuses, my boy. I'll give you guys a little bit of time to share your comments, questions, perspective. This boy over here making every excuse in the book. Ain't that something?
So just say sorry.
So just own
No,
up
no,
to being
wait,
a piece of
I
shit.
No. So I'm not. So first of all, I'm not a piece of shit.
You don't
So
think
don't
that's
talk to
piece
me
of
like
shit
that.
behavior?
Oh, they didn't escalated it to now he finally got mad. They didn't escalated it that bad. They didn't got that bad. He said, let's hear Shorty call him about his name like that.
To being a piece of shit.
No. So I'm not. So first.
So that was Destiny's little harlot that called him a POS. And that's not surprising. I'm sure she talks to Destiny like that as well. She used to being around these weak males where she can run off at the mouth. We really do need to get back to that era where everyone has to account for their words. You did. Yeah, slap some koofies off.
First of all, I'm not a piece of shit.
You don't
So
think
don't
that's
talk to
piece
me
of
like
shit
that.
behavior?
Okay. Don't talk to me like
Wow, she done said it twice. She done said it twice. Fear is an important thing. It's important, for fear to exist and for it to be enforced at a level.
that. All right.
see your-
Secondly,
See, now she thinks it's funny. She thinks it's funny because she's used to being around suckers like Destiny. See, this is a situation where somebody's bra get out of pocket. If Destiny there, you be like, hey, bro, get your bitch. You heard me? Get your bitch. She running her mouth. Tell her to shut the fuck up. And then if he don't tell her to shut the fuck up, you just beat his ass. You did? Yeah, that's how you got to do it. Carry on.
Said.
all right. I said what I said. I do think
Oh,
maybe.
now you said what you said. Now you said it took 3 hours. Now you said what you said. Well, thank you, my boy. Thank you for finally coming clean.
You were 40 pounds overweight.
sure,
So what's wrong with that?
we can match each other's energy. All I had to say was you need to like own up to your shit because it's weird
Bitch, he just did. Now get off that.
that you
I
would
just
face
did.
me. Yeah, after like pulling teeth. Are you good?
No, after you talking over me and freaking
This was
trauma
all-
dumping
Did I say
live
that?
on
I
the
don't know what I said.
show.
See what I
you,
said?
you
I don't know
pick
what
these
I said.
words and like you throw them on people. But if I acted the way you act, you would demonize me. If I literally attacked you the way you attack,
Oh, goddamn. She's getting pretty repetitive here. Wow, she's getting repetitive. And he don't know how to deal with her. See, this is the kind of guy, you see, a real man likes a real man likes a feminine woman because it is the best complement to masculinity. The puzzle pieces fit together, masculinity and femininity. Then you also have the weak male who desires the feminine submissive female because he is not strong enough. He doesn't feel strong enough to deal with women in general. So he tries to get the one that appears to be most submissive and docile because he feels like he'll be more in control. You see, a boss, I could deal with all these hoes, but I choose to deal with the ones that are most feminine. You heard me? I could deal with all of them. And here's the thing about a feminine submissive woman. She doesn't submit because she's weak. I like when a strong woman submits to me. You heard me? You ain't nothing like taming a strong woman. Yeah, I got females that are like straight pit bulls. Let you disrespect me in front of them. I got to tell them to cool out before they hurt you. You did. And it's so much more of a powerful thing when a strong woman submits to you and says, for you, daddy, I'll be a nice kitty cat. But all these other suckers, I'm a pit bull. And if you say bite, I bite. Yeah. That's the difference.
Disgusting that you act the way. It's so like unattractive and not manly, but yet you sit here and shame women.
Called the nigga not manly. She didn't call this motherfucker not manly in like 30 different formulations. Goddamn, she got 80 different terms for this boy being a softie.
Oh, I can't wait to go back to Japan. I just think there again, you're leading a bunch of cows to follow you. And you're like, yeah, this is how men should act. That's not how men in my family and in my life act. And it's so unattractive that you think that's normal. So you are part of the problem in the West is what I'm basically saying.
Okay.
So let's.
This boy then got submitted. This is like an MMA. This is an MMA match. She done had this motherfucker in a rear naked choke for like 20 minutes. This nigga over here like looking at the ref. Get this bitch off me. This motherfucker got submitted 30 times.
Try to put us over.
And can somebody tell me why he's been in the same physical posture the whole time? Let's see. Let's take a look at him. Oh, he finally came out and just to do a feminine edge. He came out of his posture. He came out of his posture to do this. This man that came out of this, he came out of this one just to do this. That shit look familiar. I think I didn't seen that somewhere.
Who she is? What else in the waiting room?
That's the whole point.
Oh my God. You are meant for the camera, my friend. You are something else. You don't know who she was when you were in the chat?
This boy lying again. Goddamn. Woo! This boy lying again. Why? Shout out to Wayne Rice. Peace of the Saints. Carry on, say. This boy lying again. God damn it.
No.
It's no.
In the
it's
camera,
fine.
in the back room?
No, it's okay.
All right. Well, how about this?
Oh my God.
Is there anything you would like to take back or apologize? Whatever you want.
No, not after being treated like that. Absolutely not. I'm not going to be talked down to by like some child that has no decency to communicate with me in a respectful manner.
It starts with you. What man leads a relationship like that? You don't even know how to lead
All
a
right.
general
All
space.
right, you guys are better than me. You win. Cool. Next question.
Amazing.
Anyway,
she's not talking down to you. She's a
you guys good?
See, there's nothing worse than being a man and getting folded up by what's supposed to be your inferior, right? What's supposed to be your inferior, especially if you're preaching a gospel of masculinity, yet you're in a situation where you're being dominated by a female. I don't know if he's ever claimed to be an alpha male, but if he has, surely he's taking an L right now. And when you're earlier, we heard him say that he would actually leave the show. That's called running. One of the major definitions of the alpha male is dominance. Dominance means you mark off a territory and you defend the territory. In his case, he's running, giving up ground. That's losing the war.
Just confronting
Amazing.
her.
You guys good? All right. I had like 3 more topics to get to, but I'm sitting in the middle of this like, holy shit. Anyway, I hope you guys, at least after the show, can hug it out. I don't know if that's possible.
I got a
Maybe
hard out
mud
at 6. I
wrestle.
told you.
Okay, we got to get you on. Anyway.
You see him lying right there. He claimed that he had a hard stop at 6, that he has to be somewhere. I highly doubt it. This is going to be bad for his career, I hope. Not that I wish anything bad for him, but it's just that we cannot have weak men leading young men, teaching them the wrong way. You need a warrior king. This guy right here clearly is not it. He got obliterated by females, and it looked like it was easy work for them. And he never really stood on what he said, and he denied the whole time. So he exposed himself to be effeminate, to be a liar, to have weak body posture, to have no masculine frame. and to also be defensive and effeminate. These are none of the characteristics anybody should strive for.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this last segment. This came out of nowhere. This is
Yo,
live.
I don't know what this dude's name is, but he's basically saying, thank you, MLD, for coming on my show, getting obliterated in front of everybody, and making me a bunch of money on them goddamn replays for the adverts. Thank you. He just basically let it go on the whole time. He never interjected. And you know what? I'd have probably did the same thing if I was getting the ad rev. I would have let that argument go on as long as possible. Somebody put his name in the chat. It doesn't matter what his name is.
TV, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't expect that happening, but I hope you guys genuinely can figure this out after the show. No hard feelings. I understand where you're at. Natalia, final super.
Now, one thing we know for damn sure is that there's extremely hard feelings. Number one, the guy who got destroyed, MLD, he's an effeminate character. So being that he is a guy who pretends to be strong but is actually weak, someone like that, his ego can't recover from being embarrassed on television. The female, we knew that her ego was bruised coming into the show because this was the thing she brought up straight away, that he called her fat, and she was very hurt. And here's one thing that I want to let you guys know as a man. Sometimes apologizing doesn't need to be sincere. It can be strategic. You can apologize to defuse a situation, or you can apologize to end a conversation, or you can apologize to defuse someone. And sometimes that's the best thing. Most cases, especially when you're dealing with your spouse, it's not necessary. You apologize. They're just going to think that they're right, and they're going to keep riding you into the ground so that you feel bad for what you did. But in other cases, it can be strategic. And in this case, I would definitely not have apologized. But this guy might have been his best bet because he wasn't strong enough to contend with her. You see, in the absence of an apology, he had to fight. It was either apologize or fight. And what he did was he failed to apologize. So he was in a one-sided fight where she's basically punching him in the face, and he keeps on holding his hands up saying, why? What happened? What am I doing? And he looks really bad. Ideally, in war, you only fight with those you can beat. That's a classic lesson.
Super chats. Let's get some winners, and we'll go to the happy ending, and we got to wrap up for today.
Okay, so I will go through. Let's see where to start. I'll start with the one on my screen right here, being cheeks.
Like, that's what I'm tripping off. You guys know I have an assistant that works with me, right? You guys have seen a number of my assistants. They do her job, right? One thing you never see is my assistant talking more than me, the host. How is it that this fucking assistant was talking more than the dude, Adam, who's supposed to be the host? She's out of pocket. If anybody was out of pocket, it would be her. You got to be able to manage these characters.
I never subbed to Angela or MLD, but Angela got my vote for the roast. Typical red pill guys never take accountability for the same way OnlyFans girls in their future.
Right.
Then we have this one, being cheeks. Have more enthusiasm reading the chat. I will. Then.
No, or how about just talk when it's your turn to talk? Shout out to Mr. Tabbitt, comes in via PayPal, writes Peace of Saints. Truly appreciate it. Carrying on.
We have full weed. Todd, divorce is actually worse than average men. They end up lying in their cars and sitting on earth for men at 40, self-destruction. Sorry, it was a little blurry when I took a picture. Then we have redo.
Look at this lying ass bitch. Did she say it was blurry when I took a picture? So you're telling me you took a screenshot and the screenshot came out blurry? Shut the fuck up. That's impossible. It's your dumb ass. Your ass was just having some reading difficulties.
Hold on, guys. As we're doing this, production team, real quick. I know we're wrapping up. MLD literally has to go. He's not walking off.
Yo, Adam, that's love, bro. You know a motherfucker got flamed when you have to announce to everybody that he's leaving on his own free will instead of being forced out due to embarrassment. God damn, you got flamed. Shout out to Parker. He writes, how can I, as a man, make my demeanor more intimidating? You know what? Intimidation is actually not for everyone. You don't want to appear intimidating if there's nothing behind it. I got a 3-sentence Bible. Number 1, be yourself. Number 2, be good to yourself. Number 3, be good to good people. Focusing on number 1, be yourself. You don't need to look intimidating if there's nothing behind that, because the very worst thing that could happen to you is you encounter someone who is really a goon, and you're just looking like a goon and you come into conflict, is going to escalate quickly because they're perceiving you to be intimidating. And so they're going to deal with you based on that perception. So it's not about being intimidating. It's about being appropriately masculine, which, for example, one of the things you shouldn't do is cover your scrotum with your hands. You should have your legs open wide, which is appropriate for a man, being that there's something between our legs, whereas women have an absence of things between their legs. You should never cross your ankles when you're sitting. You should sit in a militant posture, which is to say with your feet on the ground. So if you need to pop up at the alert at any moment, you can do so. You should keep your body erect and symmetrical. That's a good start. And there's so much more to do that is not intimidating, but it's masculine. And every man should have a militance about him. And what's more, if you follow this ism, one thing that we're very serious about are the combat sports, because every man must fight, whether it's mentally, emotionally, metaphorically, financially. We're all fighters. And when you can get that in you, you will have all of the makings that you need. But I have a good friend of mine named Ryan. He's not intimidating at all. He's actually a big guy, but he's not intimidating. He has this other factor called likability, which I'm popular. So if I'm in an environment, I'm going to be the most popular guy in the environment. I'll be esteemed and respected, but I'm not going to be the most likable guy in the environment. That's going to be Ryan, which is to say, whereas I'll be popular, I'll be lifted above others. And, the women will attract me, the men will respect me, but there's going to be a couple people in that crowd that are going to hate. Oh, that guy's cocky. That guy's this. I don't like his swag. I don't like the way he talks. But if it was Ryan's the guy that no one ever has anything bad to say about. He has a high level of likability, and that's just as useful. He's great with interpersonal relations, one-on-one, and that can make you a fortune. For example, Warren Buffett, he's not intimidating and he's not charming, but he is great interpersonally and highly effective, and you can make billions of dollars with just that trait leveraged effectively. Shout out to Parker. He writes, should I learn to use a gun? I can fight, but all the time in a fight, people are always strapped. Should you learn to use a gun? Potentially, yes. Potentially, it depends on your life circumstances. Generally speaking, we do have free time. It can be a decent use of free time to, go to a shooting range, learn how to use a basic handgun and potentially have one in your ownership. And you should also familiarize yourself with the laws in your locality because, I live in a fairly free state in Nevada. Obviously, I haven't been home in some time. I'm touring Europe. But Nevada, Florida, Arizona, these are great states for guns. And you can defend yourself there freely. If you're a very wealthy man, you can hire someone else with a gun. But, I always say, bodyguards are guarding you because they're getting paid. I'd rather people guard me because they love me. And I also rather guard myself because I love me. You dig? And I'll definitely put my life on the line for myself. Others you can't be so sure of. But yes, I think it's probably appropriate to use a little bit of time for that. Major Mind and Soul writes, tuition, peace of the saints. Truly appreciate that. Shout out, appreciate the support. Carrying on.
Said at 6 o'clock he needed to hard out at 6 o'clock right now. MLD, final words before you run off. I don't want to go out like this. Anything you would like to say before you do?
I got nothing to say.
This man mattered in a motherfucker. I got nothing to say except fuck you, bitch. You're still fat. I'm out here. Fuck you, bitch. You're fat. This man was mattered in a bitch. He looked bitter. Goddamn. And you know what? This is what it teaches you. One thing I repeat constantly is keep it player. Never let him see you sweat. I mean, that man's sweating to death. That boy sweating to death. Which is to say that we could see that he was bothered. Me, you never see me bothered. And that's one of the beautiful things about boxing is that you learn how to deal with pressure, mental pressure, physical pressure, and you learn how to stay calm in the face of pressure. People who are not well practiced, you're going to see it. You can see when someone has skilled themselves up in a particular pursuit. You can see when someone has prepared their mind for warfare. And in his case, little buddy wasn't prepared. I guess all them damn YouTube videos aren't as good as real life experience because this motherfucker seemed like he's very displeased. Look at him.
Anything you would like to say before you do?
I got nothing to say.
I got nothing to say. This man sound like he just finished a very unpleasant deposition. That man is not pleased.
See, my point.
All right, brother.
I'll text you. Thank you. Sorry.
Of course, bro. Joey, let's make sure he gets out safely.
Oh shit.
Wow. Anyway,
And we're the ones that get
He's
our
not having a
period.
good
guys,
week.
I'm
I'm
just-
just saying.
listen.
And there go the bras talking about him while he's on his way out, which you can expect. You know, it's not a manly thing, but you know, you expect females to gossip. That's gonna happen. Like hopefully Alex doesn't join in on that. Let's see.
For the record, just so everyone's on the same page here, me and MLD are cool. We've got zero issues. He's always been super respectful.
No,
But
he
But at the
hasn't.
same time, you and I are also very cool.
Okay, so I can respect that. That's a manly thing to do, which is basically to say, hey, that's my man's. We're not gonna drag him through the dirt in his absence, which is a very respectable, integrity-based thing to do. Shout out to Fooly Cooley. He writes, peace to the saints. This might be a no-brainer, but do you recommend a firm handshake with a female? Oh yeah, I'm a bone crusher. I'm a motherfucking bone crusher, man. And I think that it just started off just because I have strong hands. And, you know, honestly, my grandmother was really strong. This is awkward as hell, but I used to arm wrestle my grandma. You heard me? I was like 10 years old. I used to arm wrestle my grandma. She'd be taking W's out here. So I have a very strong grip, and I grew up around women that are also actually physically strong. And so I've always been a bone crusher. You know, I shake somebody's hands, I'm crushing their hand. But that was thoughtlessly. And then as I matured, I kept doing it just because I liked the reaction. So when I was a young boy, you know, like 13, 14, you know, I'm crushing their hand and they're like, ease up. And then I started to enjoy it. So it was natural and then it became intentional. So I say, crush that motherfucker's hand, whoever it is, man, woman, senior citizen, crush their fucking hand. He writes, I do it with gentlemen. Just wanted your input. Yeah, crush their hand. But here's the thing. I'm mostly not shaking women's hands. You dig? If it's a business situation, I'll shake her hand and I'll crush her hand. And, you know, she deserves that because I'm treating her like a male because we're in a business environment. However, if it's on a personal level, especially a romantic or a dating level, I'm not going to shake shorty hand. You heard me? I might give her that half hug or give her a full hug. Unfortunately, some of these chicks in Europe give me the, I hate that. The Puerto Rican chicks, get that shit. I'm American. Get that shit away from me. But yeah, man, crush her hand. Why not? Let them know what's up with you.
We've also been very respectful together. This is on you guys to address publicly, privately, whatever. This is on you guys. For the record, I had no clue that any of this was going to happen. It's great for TV, but not exactly what I wanted to happen with my show. But such is life. Anyway, guys, sorry about that. If you were offended or enjoyed it, and you're an S&M type of person.
Low key, man, I gotta hurry up and you know, I might have to start a suit business because I want to get everybody laced up, man. I want everybody looking righteous, you dig, in that MDB label. Oh yeah, speaking of MDB label, this is the MDB label bean. You heard me? Go get your mdblabel.com bean. Boss up, get real player. But yeah, we got to get my boy suit game up. We need him on the level of the pimping, the floral pimping
person, fucking playout player. But me and MLD are cool, just so we're clear on that. So if you like that clip, click.
I think my boy was just basically like, look, man, don't roast his ass. He's gone. We cool, man. Just let it go. Let it go. Saints, I'll give you some time to send in your comments, questions as we wind down. This was a fun one. And you know, the thing that hurts me, honestly, because I like to keep it positive as well, and I've never heard of MLD. I've seen his face, though, so I'm not saying that he's a nobody. I'm just saying I've not heard the name referenced, but I've seen his face several times in this sphere. And I've not heard any of his game, or I don't know precisely what he does. Presumably it's dating. Like, he talks about dating and how to get women and apparently which women he prefers, which sounds like he's a passport bro in his mentality. But, you know, it honestly, it saddens me to have to speak negatively of anyone, especially upon first blush. You know, my first time seeing him or hearing about him, it doesn't rub me the right way to have to do that. But sadly, just the evidence was there, and it was blatantly clear that he just was not. He wasn't doing anything right from a position of leadership, from a position of masculinity. He I don't really use the term holding masculine frame, but if there ever was such a thing, he ain't know what the fuck it was. He was not holding masculine frame. And what's more is he was simply being dishonest. And, you know, there's a time for the truth. There's a time to keep the truth to yourself, but it's always a time to stand up. And it's never a time to beat around the bush and be defensive and effeminate. And I think he displayed a lot of those characteristics, and he displayed it so consistently over time that it would appear that that is his personality. And, you know, that's not someone we should be following. That's not someone we should even be hearing, frankly. Hopefully he go ahead and tap in with the big homie, because he could use some of this ism. You heard me? Because he got his motherfucking ass flamed. And I'll tell you, that appears to be the first time on the internet I've seen a female, or in this case, a pack of females like hyenas, flame a dude. So, hey, there you go. Saints, it has been truly a pleasure at this time to fellowship with you. Until next. Oh, let us end with our tradition. Repeat after me with full conviction, the Creed of the Assassin. I'm going to be who I truly am, because I am remarkable, and I'm going to strive every moment to show the greatest part of who I am. Until next time, peace to the saints.